Coming up tonight on Sportsnight, NHL players set a strike deadline. We'll tell you all about it. Did Bob Probert and Ty Domi dance in Detroit? We will have full NHL highlights for you. Craig Muni's gone for at least a month. We'll hear from him. There's the plays of the week. All this plus much, much more tonight on Sportsnight.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Solkowski.
And I'm Darren Dutchyshen. It was kind of a good news, bad news day for the National Hockey League. The bad news, they've set a deadline for a strike. The good news, they're going to talk again on Tuesday.
Yeah, and it puts the pressure. You know they have to set a deadline on the strike, but really what happens Tuesday could decide what's going to happen as far as hockey's concerned in the next couple of weeks. We now know when. It's just a matter of will it happen. NHL Players Association has voted unanimously to strike on March 30th if there is no movement towards a new collective bargaining agreement. NHL governors convened at a downtown hotel in Chicago today. Coming from the meeting, word that the two sides will talk on Tuesday. That is good news because it was earlier in the day that Bob Goodenow was in touch with all the teams. They talked, and then in a statement issued by Goodenow, he laid the cards on the table. In plain terms, a strike will occur unless a collectively negotiated agreement is reached by the deadline of March 30th. We have this reaction.
We talked about it. How can we find a way to basically keep hockey on the ice into the future? I think future years is more important than short-term pain.
We've played a season without a contract. We should never be at this position. We should have, both sides should have come up with an agreement well before this time. But we're at the point now that we have to make a tough decision. That was a tough decision to make this morning, and our guys took it.
We've got to get something done, and I guess the only way to that is to have a deadline. So we've got a good group here. We know the situation and the issues and know what's got to be done.
Push has come to shove, and the Canucks will walk?
Absolutely. It's if there's no movement, we have no choice. I mean, if the owners play hardball like they did last time and take the firm stance and don't move an inch, well, then we'll walk.
I think the owners are concerned about this position. I know I am. I mean, if they don't believe that we're going to lose $2 million here, they can walk in and look at the books like they've been able to do all the way along. So if that means we're belligerent, I'm belligerent. Yeah, darn right. If that's what it means, I don't like losing $2 million, especially when guys got their hands out for more. I mean, the only people that pay are the fans.
Let's move on to tonight's NHL action. They are looking more and more like divisional champs. Every time that first place has been threatened, the Vancouver Canucks turn it up a notch and pull away. Their current winning streak was at 5 games, as they are undoubtedly the hottest team in the Smythe. But the Canucks won't be satisfied with a fine regular season. They have to make some noise in the playoffs, because only then will they get some respect. Tonight, they took on the Winnipeg Jets, who are clinging to 4th place, just 3 points up on the Flames. Let's go to the Pacific Coliseum and take a look at a few of the highlights. The Canucks get the first good scoring chance. Tabaracci the save. Robin Bawa is there, but he rattles it off the post. The Jets have a good opportunity of their own. Davidoff. No. Troy Gamble is there to make the save. Later on, still scoreless in the first. Igor Lariano in all alone on goal. Nice looking save by Tabaracci. Early in the second, the Jets do open up the scoring. Steen from the corner out to Eddie Olczyk. He shoots and scores 1-0. Then minutes later, Olczyk returning the favor to Thomas Steen. Steen in all alone, but he shoots it too high. Then the Jets do go up 2-0. Newman with the shot, it stopped. The puck's lying there. Troy Murray jumps all over the rebound. 2-0 for Winnipeg. Before the end of the second, the Canucks get on the board. Pavel Bure will streak in. He burns Teppo Newman. He shoots and scores. Great-looking goal, 2-1. Early in the third, the Canucks tie the game up. Peter Nedved down the right side. Backhander upstairs. He catches the corner. It's 2-2. They are headed to overtime for Winnipeg. Eddie Olczyk and Troy Murray for Vancouver. Bure and Nedved. Once again, the Jets went in 3 points up on Countdown. The Canucks were 11 up on Los Angeles. If Winnipeg wins, it will only be 5 back of the Edmonton Oilers. Now, it was the most anticipated heavyweight tilt since David met Goliath. Battling Bob Probert and his Detroit Red Wings took on Ty Domi and the New York Rangers. And the last time these two teams met, Domi and Probert went toe-to-toe, and Domi laid claim to the heavyweight title even though he didn't win the tilt. Tonight was supposed to be round 2, the rematch, the mayhem in Motor City. But guess what? Domi didn't play because of an ankle injury. Ruined my night. Let's go to the JLA early on. Kevin Miller, great-looking goal. He shoots and scores. 1-0 for the Wings. Bob Probert was not mixing things up tonight. Instead, it was the former Wing, Joey Kosher. He wanted a piece of Bob McGill. Now, the Rangers come back to tie the game in the power play. The shot from the point tipped in by Adam Graves. That's his 24th of the season. The Wings, though, regain the lead. Sergei Fedorov will throw the puck in front. Paul Eisebart takes the pass. He shoots and scores in the one-timer, and it's 2-1. Let's go to the second period. The Rangers tie the game on a power play of their own. The Moose will let it go. Cheveldae the save. Graves is there. He bangs in his second of the game, 2-2. Then the Rangers take the lead. The puck will go back to the point. Mike Gartner will get all of this shot and then some. He wires it off the post and in, 3-2. Then in the third, the Wings score again. Right off the draw, Darren Turcotte will let the wrister go. Mike Gartner, circling in the slot, tips it in for his second goal of the game. That was it. Rangers win. The final in the contest was 4-2 for New York. Adam Graves with a pair, along with Mike Gartner for the Wings, Gerard Gallant and Paul Eisebart. Messier with 2 points, Turcotte with 2 points. The Rangers win in Detroit for the first time in 6 years. Richter, 35 saves. New York unbeaten in 5. New York best in the Bigs with 97 points. The next time the Rangers and Wings will meet will have to be in the playoffs. I'm sad to say.
You hope the Wings are there. We'll see if they're there. On to Washington, where timing appears to be the problem again with the Capitals. Team is notorious for being solid during the season and then folding come playoff time. This year, it appears the nice mix of veterans and newcomers will keep the Caps strong in the postseason. Problem is, this comes at the same time as the New York Rangers filled their strongest team in decades, but one never knows what could happen. Caps taking on the Flyers tonight at home. Let's go to the highlights. First period, game tied at 1. Flyers take the lead, scrambling for the puck. Recchi is there, spins and fires. It's his 40th of the season, and it's 2-1 Philadelphia. Second period, the game is tied up at 2. Dale Hunter with the puck. Great move, shoots, scores his second of the game, and it's 3-2. Now, later on in the period, the Caps move in a 3-on-2. Nice passing play. Ridley to Peter Bondra over to Cicerelli. He scores. It is 4-2. Still in the second period, more Capitals, more Dale Hunter. Gets the hat trick. Capitals were up by a score of 5-2. Things were looking very good, but cue the comeback. Third period, Washington can't clear it. Brian Benning will wire it from the point. He will score it, and that tied the game up at 6. Time running out in the third now. Mark Recchi gets the puck at the blue line. He will walk in. Great move. He will score. Look at that. 44 ticks left on the clock. Big come from behind win for Philadelphia. Peterson, Recchi gets 2. He now has 42 on the year. He had the winner with 44 seconds left. Flyers have now won 4 in a row. Although they won't make the playoffs, although they still have a chance, they are tied with the Islanders for 5th spot in the Patrick Division. On to the Oilers, and their defensive core is starting to become decimated by injuries. Last night, Craig Muni went down with the sprained ligament in his right knee. He joins Kevin Lowe and Brian Glenn on the shelf. A call to the Cape has been made. Francois Leroux will now meet the team in Boston. Muni will see the doctor Monday. Chances are he could be gone for a while.
Well, if he does the scope, it'll probably be 2 weeks at least with the scope, and then I guess depending on the amount of damage that's done inside. It's really too early to tell right now, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too long.
The Canucks and Jets are still tied at 2. There are about 50 seconds left to go in the game. Make that 45, maybe 40.
Yeah.
The Winnipeg Jets desperately need to pick up a point tonight. That way they would be 4 points up on the Calgary Flames. And does Vancouver really want to lose?
I don't know.
They
meet Sunday afternoon in Winnipeg. And do they really want to lose? Because you don't think they want Calgary coming into their building in the playoffs.
Nope, not a chance.
We'll see what happens. We'll tell you when it is a final. It could be a final by now, but we'll have it later on the show.
Coming up next, the Canadian Women's Hockey Championships.
And today's exhibition baseball action. Stick around. All right.
Introducing a great tasting tasting beer with only 0.5% alcohol. Labatt 0.5. The performance beer.
How would you like a championship golf course in your own backyard?
Sounds great.
Lewis Estates, beautiful golf course homes in West Edmonton. 199th Street at Whiteman Freeway.
Monday.
She didn't have to perform, she just had to look great.
An inside look at the life of a troubled superstar.
You don't remember me, do you?
Marilyn, Something's Gotta Give. Monday at 8 on ITV.
Welcome back. At the Canadian Women's Hockey Tournament in our city, the two big guns went head-to-head. Alberta and Ontario are the two perennial powers. They met each other tonight. Both clubs were 2-0, and it was pretty tight in the first. Ontario took a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. They stretched that lead out to 4-2. After 2 periods, they scored 2 more en route to a 6-2 victory. BC and Saskatchewan tied it 2. It was Quebec over Calgary by a score of 7-0, and New Brunswick over Manitoba by a score of 5-3. Now, playing goal for Quebec in this tournament is the hottest goaltender in hockey, at least by Playboy standards. With more, here's Tim Spellacy.
It was the late Andy Warhol who suggested that everyone would have at least 15 minutes of fame before they passed on. Well, Manon Rheaume has had that and much more. Earlier this season, Rheaume became the first female to play Junior A hockey when she suited up in goal for Trois Rivières of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, achieving nationwide celebrity status. At the same time, she's practiced with Patrick Roy and the Montreal Canadiens.
Patrick Roy was there for telling me some trucs.
And then there was the $75,000 offer to pose in Playboy magazine, which she rejected.
I'm not interested to make this kind of picture.
And she's been a hot topic here in Edmonton since her arrival for the Canadian Women's Hockey Championships.
I never think that if I play with the Travers, I can have this kind of attention after. And I know I have a small attention to Trois Rivières and Quebec, but not so big.
But celebrity does have its downside. Along with its privileges and pleasures come the pressures.
Sometimes it's hard because it makes many pressure, big pressure on me. And when I go in goal, I don't have choice to have a good game. I can make mistake, and it's more pressure. But it's very good for the women hockey because we talk a lot about women hockey, and it's good for this.
Manon has been offered a women's hockey scholarship by Cornell University in New York, but turned it down. Instead, after representing Quebec here at the Nationals, she'll represent Canada at the World Championships in Helsinki next month. Tim Spellacy for Sportsnight.
Right over to the majors. Toronto Blue Jays took on the Baltimore Orioles this afternoon. Jays pitching got rocked a bit. Let's show you some of the highlights. Pick it up, top of the third inning, 5-1 for the Orioles, but Pat Tabler comes up with the single. That will score Turner Ward and Johnny Allrood, and it's a 5-3 gap. But in the fifth, Cal Ripken steps up to the plate, goes deep. It has gone a solo ride. It is 6-3 for the Birds. Move to the eighth inning now with the score 8-4 for Baltimore. Randy Knorr goes deep. It's a solo shot. 9-5. That is the way this one would end up. Baltimore getting the win over the Jays. Orioles scoring 5 runs in the second to bust it open for the win. Expos, Darren Reed's 4th homer of the spring. The big blow as the Spos beat Minnesota. They continue to roll 7-5. And the Trappers in action again. 6-4. Tim Salmon, 3 hits for the Trappers. They beat Iowa. Salmon expected to be the big bat this year for Edmonton. Well, if they continue to pay the big bucks and expect the trends to keep on going, and talking to the Boxers, they've seen better days. They continue to jump into the ring.
Yeah, tonight Tommy Hearns was trying to avenge one of only 3 losses in his career as he took on Iran Barkley, and Barkley beat him again tonight, scoring a 12-round split decision. Yeah. Barkley knocked Hearns down in the 4th, bloodied him up. He was bleeding from his nose at the end of the fight. Now, the only 2 other fighters to beat Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Yeah, you know, Hearns is still 33, and considering what's going on in the heavyweight division, you know, he could still stick around. The fortunate thing is for him, or maybe it's a good thing, there's not too many guys he can fight. I mean, how many times are you going to keep on fighting guys who went to the ring?
Environmentally friendly. Everybody's recycled in boxing these days.
Yeah, for the cash, I'd do it too, I guess.
Yeah, we have to take another break. Up next, Michael Jordan is accused of gambling.
And March Madness continues.
I have to tell you, I feel a little silly here.
Yeah, well, I feel a little silly too.
Good.
What time is good for you?
7:30?
7:30, perfect.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
How will I know who you are?
Well, actually, I'll be the guy with the Volkswagen.
Oh, great. That makes it easy.
Okay.
Terrific. I'll see you then.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Make no mistake about it. The Passat. It is a Volkswagen.
Of all the reasons why more Canadians fly Air Canada, here's the latest one. Fly between Vancouver, Edmonton, or Calgary, and your chances are 1 in 5 of taking off with a winning ticket now through May 8th. You could win a vacation a year for 5 years. London or Paris show tours, companion tickets, and more. But you can't win unless you fly Air Canada. One way or another, you're always a winner with Air Canada.
There are still some people who are not aware that for relaxing comfortably at home, absolutely nothing can beat an LRAN suite. For more than 20 years, LRAN has been designing and manufacturing furniture that makes it easy to take it easy. So relax. Choose the comfort and quality of LRAN. At LRAN, we have a slant on comfort. Don't hold back any longer.
XL Furniture has the largest selection of LRAN anywhere. Custom order your fabric and style today. Hundreds of items in stock.
This morning, this man took his car to Certigard Personal Car Care for service for the first time. He's now waiting for the call. You know, the call that tells you it'll cost more than you thought, and it won't be ready when they said. With Certigard, however, the difference starts with an exclusive 300-point condition check and ends with the news that your fully warranted service will cost exactly what they said it would. Certigard, personal car care you can count on from people you can trust. From Petro-Canada, committed to Canadians.
Welcome back. He's basketball's golden boy, but now Michael Jordan's image is being tarnished. He's under investigation by the NBA for gambling. According to sources, Jordan has spent over $100,000 to cover debts in golf and poker games. Michael openly admits that he did gamble this summer while living in Hilton Head, Carolina, but he says it was nothing more than a friendly wager or two on the golf course.
Sports? Well, I can safely say that I'm not the Pete Rose man. I wasn't involved in any point shaving, betting on the basketball game. I wasn't insinuating. I know, but I'm claiming before anybody else asks.
He was the top pick in this year's draft, and he's done everything that has been expected of him. Larry Johnson has turned the Charlotte Hornets into a competitor, and they are taking a run at a playoff spot. Let's show you the action. They're taking on Atlanta tonight. Hawks early on, inside they go. Graham misses, but Kevin Willis is there picking up the garbage. He had a big game. Hey, he's had a big season for Atlanta. I mentioned the big fella Johnson. He's not supposed to be able to do that. Well outside the three-point range, he is gunning, he is playing the strings. But Graham was the story on this night. The reserve off the bench, watch him go baseline. Nice move, it will fall. Hawks were up by 2 late in the game. Larry Johnson trying to keep Charlotte in it, takes the ball, fadeaway jumper. That's a 4 shot, it's a tough one. It would not fall. Final score in this game, Atlanta in a very close one. They win by 2. Graham led the way. He had 23 points. Milwaukee taking on Indiana. Milwaukee, they've won 9 in a row at home, playing a good ball. As they, it should be the way around, I believe. Milwaukee with the win. Other games tonight, close night in the NBA. New Jersey by 3 over Washington. Drazen Petrovic leads the way. He has 29 points. Larry Bird with 21 points. Boston 104-99 over the Detroit Pistons.
Now, the Pistons lost tonight, but they had been coming on strong. The Cleveland Cavs suddenly found themselves looking over their shoulders. They went into tonight's game with the Warriors just 3.5 ahead of the Pistons. Let's take a look at a few of the highlights. The Cavs and the Warriors with the miss. The Cavs are gone. John Battle up the floor. He'll give it to Brad Doherty. The big guy comes up with a one-handed jam. The Cavs were on a 17-4 run. Then it's Mark Price making the move. He will pull up. Goes off the glass. It's a 12-point lead and a 70-point first half for Cleveland. More Cleveland. Nance, great bounce pass to Doherty for the jam. The big guy returns to the lineup. He was effective. Cleveland rolls over the Warriors. 122-107 was the final in the game. Brad Doherty with 24 points. Mitch Richmond with 21. The Mavs have now lost 4 straight as they are down by Sacramento. How about this one? The Clippers knock off Phoenix in Phoenix, 114-101. And Minnesota and the Los Angeles Lakers locked horn tonight. The Lakers win by 10. Just one other NBA note. The LA Lakers announced today that James Worthy will be sidelined for the rest of the season after undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery. The 7-time All-Star was leading the Lakers in scoring with a 19.9 points per game average.
Friday, man, another load of first-round games is the NCAA basketball tournament. Let's take a look. Show you Kansas, last year's runner-up. They're the top seed in Midwest, taking on Howard University, the Bisons. And you'd figure this one would be a walk, and it was. Kansas with pressure defense, no problems, and why not? They have the size. They were running all over Howard, and the coach enjoyed it. Bisons did have some shining moments. The steal right there by Carl Williams, the jam. He was fouled. The whole university going crazy. They loved what they saw. But then later on, they came back down to reality. Jayhawks switching gears. They had an easy win, 100-67. Other first-round winners, all the big names moving on. Kentucky, Michigan State, Tulane, UCLA, and USC also with big wins in that one, as you see. No real big upset. St. John Redmond, maybe the first big upset. They were knocked out on Friday. Okay, also, the CIAU quarterfinals are going on. It was Laurentian beating Brock by a score of 100-74. Brock with the win. And UBC, they knocked out Don Horwood's Bears. They won 86-75. Provincial 4A high school basketball. It is basketball all around in our province, taking place in Lethbridge. Let's show you what happened. The scores. Harry Ainley on the boys' side, they were winners over Kate Andrews, 84-73. They are in the finals. Who will they play? Yeah, they'll play some old friends of theirs. They'll take on Ross Shepherd. They were winners by a score of 90-83 over Lethbridge. So it's Ainley and Ross Shepherd tomorrow night in the 4A final on the boys' side. On the ladies' side, Harry Ainley, they're in the final again. The girls won 61-42 over Lindsay Thurber. They will take on Calgary as Calgary beat Lethbridge tonight by a score of 77-51. Time for a break. When we come back, Freddie is still on fire.
And the men's finals are set at the Lipton Invitational. Stay tuned.
The bullpen's warming up, and just in time. Mercy, that's 6 home runs in a row. Manager Whitey Fabian is trying to keep us cool as he signals for some relief. Whoa, look who's coming up next. And Letchford gets the call?
Tired of facing the heat? Well, right now, Mazda is offering air conditioning or an equivalent credit on 323, Protege, 626, MX6, Miata, MPV, and Mazda trucks. Beat the heat with air from Mazda.
Letchford won't get out of the car.
How does having a scenic lake in your own backyard sound?
A lake in my own backyard? Fantastic.
Lewis Estates. Delightful lakeside living at affordable prices. 199th Street at Whiteman Freeway.
Who makes the world's greatest hamburger? World's greatest. Fuddruckers. Oh. At Fuddruckers, you start with a freshly ground half-pound hamburger. Fresh. After that, it's in your hands. Yes. So, who makes the world's greatest hamburgers? Fuddruckers. Fuddruckers and you. Fuddruckers.
Super Channel. We play it your way with over 80 movies a month. To subscribe, call your cable company today.
Tuesdays at 7, the stakes are high as the hottest, trendiest brat pack of the 90s strut their stuff.
Emily, what is it with you? You're trying to be funny, you're trying to drive me crazy.
Beverly Hills 90210, Tuesdays at 7 on ITV.
Welcome back. The upsets continued today at the Lipton International as the 6-seeded Michael Chang knocked off a frustrated Jim Courier to move into the final. Now, Courier was supposed to be the best men's player in the world going into this tournament with not even close. So what did Jimbo do? Well, he blamed it on the reflection coming off that lady's necklace. Nice try, Jimmy. A little later, he tries to hit another lob. Not even close. Courier gets routed. Chang beats him 6-2 and 6-4. In the other semifinal, the 20-seeded Alberto Mancini knocked off the 17th-seeded Jakob Plasek 7-6 and 7-5. There is your men's final. Michael Chang versus Alberto Mancini.